are back. A2TP podcast, episode 199. 1 from 200, 199. We are back. It's your boy, International Walt.
It's your girl, Taj, the co-hostess with the most.
And we are back for another episode of us. We're back to bring you guys another episode of us. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pod Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Player FM, are all the places you can type in our faces and catch us. I needed that. Those are all the places you can catch us. Hope you guys are feeling great out there, because we feeling great. We got a good show for y'all. Let's get right to it. How are you?
I'm probably an 8 today.
An 8?
Yeah, I'm extremely grateful for you. I'm extremely grateful for us. Somebody who I love dearly is going through a very difficult time, and it's weighing on me a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not letting it affect like our home. It's just weighing on my heart a little bit. I just feel sad, that somebody's going. It's like somebody you love experiencing like a big loss and just a big transition in life, and knowing that they're just hurting. It's like, it makes me a little bit sad. I mean, I'm not like ho hum in the dumps, and I'm grateful to have my husband as a support, but it sucks, and that's all I want to say about that.
It does, because I know what you're talking about, but it does.
Yeah, it really does. It's like, damn.
Much love to you.
Finances at 8, room for growth, and I'm just grateful for God's guidance and discipline and focus that he gives to my husband and myself, and we've been making sacrifices to do things, and I'm just grateful. Work is a 9, just, it's all good, but we talked about it a couple weeks ago, as the end of the year come down. I'm happy that my work life and your work life too, you kind of take some time off at the end of the year. My work life kind of slows down just because of what we do, and like the holiday season, everybody kind of people don't have as many things going on because of the holiday season, because you don't get as much participation, so it slows down a little bit. But yeah, the end of the year, just feel a little tired. The end of the year kind of feels like a Thursday when you look at it, like a microcosm, that on Thursday you just like, so like fourth quarter feels like that. Whew, this is the Thursday of the year. Mm-hmm. So that's how that feels. And then physically, I'm a 9. I feel good. I got to get back on my game though. Like, yeah, I got to get back focused. I got some plans for November for myself. Couple of things. I want to get a walking pad.
Like a walking pad to walk on?
Yeah.
What the fuck is, explain. Like, I think I know what you're talking about, but say more words. Like them walking treadmills?
Yeah. Like, just so that, when I can't make it outside or can't make it to the gym, just to have like an alternative. So we'll talk about it. But yeah, but I feel good overall. Now I'm grateful for feeling good. For like physically, I mean, like, nothing hurting, nothing broken. My hand never really healed 100%, but
we're gonna have that for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, you see, when you go to like hold my hand, sometimes depending on the position,
that's
you
gonna
can't.
Kick in when arthritis kick in at 62. That's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be like, remember that time in Mexico? Yep. Here we go. How are you?
I'm good. I feel mentally, I feel like a 8. Yeah, just feel like an 8. Finances, I would say an 8, leaving room for growth. Work is a 9. Yeah, work's a 9. And physically, I feel like a 10. Okay. Which is weirdly, but yeah, I feel like a 10.
Good. Well, it's not weird. You deserve to feel great. You work hard to feel great. So.
Wows and woes, ups and downs, stops and goes.
My woe just piggybacks on my mental. Having somebody that you love go through a tough time, it's just like a woe. Moment, but I believe in God, and they believe in God, and through every storm there's a lesson. You don't always know what the lesson is, and nobody's exempt from storms. You just don't always expect Yeah, no,
that's hindsight talking, but because people don't want to hear that shit in the midst
No,
of it.
absolutely
like,
not. And I ain't the person to say
lesson, but in the end, there's hindsight. You look back and think you discovered a piece of yourself that you didn't know, or you saw something in somebody else that you didn't know. So there's always something to learn, but in the thick of it, it's
nobody wants to hear that, and I ain't the one to say that. I'm just the one, to support those who I love when I'm able to do so. So that's just my wow. My wow is, we got some great news about. I mean, not that we had bad news, but we didn't get bad news, about you. So that was good. We just had some medical appointments we had to tend to, and wasn't expecting any bad news, but sometimes when you don't expect it, it's like something it shocked the hell out of you. And I'm happy that wasn't one of those kind of moments. It was kind of what we did expect, a little better than what we expected. So I'm extremely grateful. We have been through enough. And who are we to say enough, right? I'm not challenging God, but we've been through a lot of different medical things. Not like we're sickly people, which is the crazy thing. We're not sickly people, but it's like things have just popped up. We are relatively healthy, and it's just like
the older age range. It's just like the body is that old that you are. So you're not
but I mean, these things started happening in my 20s, and then things, but. Again, we're not sickly people, thank God. Things have just popped up. So I'm just grateful for our health and what it is, and grateful that we got a good report.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say got a good report. We didn't get a bad report for you. So that I am extremely grateful anytime, God gives us that grace. What are your woes and woes?
My woes is just to give some love to who we talking about. Like, it's a sad thing that person is going through, and I hope that I can say now it's probably not going to work out, but I just hope that, she gets through it in one piece. Yeah, in one piece. I'm going to leave it at that. And much love to you if you see this. I hope everything works out with you. My wow is that I thought I was dying, but I ain't going to lie. I thought I was dying low key. I ain't gonna lie, and I just was like, I hope, and I'm not, and I'm thankful to God. I'm just thankful to God.
I should crack you in your head because you never expressed to me that that's how you felt.
Nope, I didn't. But Lord, thank you, Jesus, I'm not. And a little whip here, a little whip there, and I'm good to go. But I just thought I was dying, and don't want to do that quite yet. I need to be here for my baby. And be around for shit and memories and pictures and food and all kinds of shit. So weed, everything. I need to be around for it.
Our kids,
the kids. So I just want to be around, and not dying, still here. So I'm happy about that.
Is there a time that you think you could be going through something, like let's say you went to a doctor appointment by yourself, which that's not our life. Like I go with you, you go with me. But like you got some bad news, would you feel like you didn't want to tell me and you would handle it on your
Fuck no.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm the type of person I need my friend. I need to console in somebody. This is heavy. I need to talk to somebody. So, and plus you would see it on my face.
Yeah, what the hell happened there? I'll be calling the doctor, sign this HIPAA form so they can tell me what the hell is going on. I'll be all in your my chart.
You would try to be in my insurance business and all that, seeing what type of stuff they doing.
I'll be all in your my chart.
Risking your job.
No, I couldn't do that through my job. I don't work on that side.
I'm about to say, well, you might know somebody to know somebody, but know somebody to know somebody and get a word back. You ain't got to be on that side.
I'll be right at the doctor's office. What did y'all tell him?
It's just a relief to think that something's wrong with you, and you go to the doctor and they tell you it's not that. So I'm just thankful. That's all. I feel good. That's why I feel like I'm a 10. And plus I've been in the gym every day. I kicked ass Monday, kicked ass Tuesday, kicked ass even harder Wednesday. So I feel good. I feel good.
And I'm happy too that doesn't hinder any of the plans that we have. We can move forward with making arrangements, and it's just not weighing heavy me being worried about like your recovery and stuff. So
yeah, well, I mean, I still worry about it, so because until.
But I mean, now.
No, it's not like a.
Because you hard headed.
Yeah, it's not like a pressing issue. Plus, I asked the right questions at the doctor, so I'll be straight, and I'm gonna make sure I did that in front of you, so you can hear what's going on. Big deal in the news is the Trump rally. Trump rally happened at Madison Square Garden. It's getting closer to the election. Something like
one
6
of
days?
many. They have been like
it's just like going. I think they on like a rally thing to the end of the weekend.
It's like they go somewhere and come back to Pennsylvania. Go somewhere else, come back to Pennsylvania. Go somewhere else, come back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean the 3 swing states they're trying to win is Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Are the 3 swing states that could go either way. So a lot of the shit that they're doing are popping up in those states.
He was
so
in Drexel Hill this week too.
Yeah. He was out in his garbage truck today. Big Trump, brand new garbage truck. He's promising for all sanitation workers or whatever.
Oh wow.
But big Trump rally, and a lot of people think that this was reminiscent of the Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden that was held there in 1939, which was news to me because I didn't even know Madison Square Garden was around when the Holocaust and all that shit was going on. So that was news to me that MSG was there in 1939, but whatever. He had a bunch of comedians and a bunch of people speak there, and a lot of people seem to be offended by some racist rhetoric that was said by Tony Hinchcliffe. And Kill Tony is the show that he does. Very popular show. He's one of Joe Rogan's
proteges.
Yeah, his proteges, his group of comedians that are on his show often and that who he support and push. Little nepotism. There's nothing wrong with that on the white side or the black side. But his comedy set, and again, my take on it is I'm not offended by jokes. And this is a comedian that was put in a setting that said very offensive. His jokes were very offensive, but this tracks with what he does. Like he's like the heavyweight champion of racist jokes and like that kind of comedy, that kind of dark shit. So it's not like I thought like he was going to say something political or say something that had to do with issues or policy, but I'm not offended by these kind of jokes where, and I don't know if you are, but are you still offended when somebody says black people like watermelon or black people like chicken? Like those tropes are so old that it's like, if a white person says I like chicken, it's almost like I do, and that's not offensive to me no more. I don't even know if it ever was. I think people just told me I should be offended at it because it's a trope. But
well, you did feel some way about it because you didn't want me eating watermelon on the beach in front of white people.
That's why I said it at one time, because it felt like this is something we have to be offended of. But when you think about it, it's like, damn, if a comedian says something about watermelon or chicken that has to do with black people, should it be like they said nigger? Like it's kind of like an old trope that's like, it's not that funny and it's not that offensive.
It's almost like you're stating the obvious, right? Because it's like such an old stereotype.
Right.
Why I'm not offended by it is because guess what? When you go to the market, you got as many white people with watermelons in their cart as you do black people. And sometimes more white people because watermelon high as hell. So, I mean, I'm not offended by it. My perspective on what he said is that I just don't think that's the time and place.
Right.
Like so I got a couple different viewpoints about it. One, I seen black people like, oh my God, we love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, we love you. How dare he say this? The Puerto Ricans was like, it's a joke. Trump 2024. We don't care.
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans for Trump. Latinos for Trump. Brooklyn for Trump. Like Fat Joe posted about it saying like, bodies, like y'all need to be like bodies as in Boricuas. Mm-hmm. Y'all need to be aware. This is so offensive, blah, 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 blah. They was like, man, get out of here with that. We don't care. Trump 2024. Yep. And for me, it was like black people, like, why y'all all in the uproar if they not? And not only that, if you want to be in an uproar about something, if you want to be offended about something, you ain't mentioned the watermelon joke that he said. And I know why they probably didn't is because most people probably didn't hear the whole speech, and I didn't either. Only seen the clips, but the clip about Puerto Rico is what was
right.
It
because
was
he said
much
it's a pile
more
of garbage
offensive
in the middle of the ocean. Hey, they call it Puerto Rico.
It was much more offensive than the watermelon joke, so I get why that got so much media attention. But it's like, black people, why are y'all waving a flag and they don't care? And I'm not, don't get me wrong, there are Puerto Rican people that I care about, Latinos that I care about, that, some I may, I care. I'm not saying I don't care about them as a people, but I'm not going out there like, oh my God, being so devastated if a lot of them aren't. And again, if I wanted to, like when Chris Rock says selective outrage, if I wanted to be outraged by something, I would pick the joke that was geared towards people that look like me and not other people. But I get that that's his. I don't necessarily blame him because that's what he does. I blame those that brought him to. Like, they didn't say,
but I think they know what they're getting is what I'm saying. They vet him and say, this is Tony Hinchcliffe. They watch Kill Tony and say, okay, this is the type of shit he's going to bring.
That's why I'm saying I blame them that they thought he was okay. Like, he was like a good source of entertainment for knowing what he does. That's like, when Meg got up there, Meg Thee Stallion got up, wasn't she like part of a Kamala rally or something somewhere? If she got up there and said, y'all pop that P for Kamala, it's like, we know like that's a part of your music, but there's a time and place.
I just think
like that's part of, your whole persona, and that's part of his persona. But that ain't. I don't think Meg was the right type of entertainment to be twerking at a Kamala rally.
No, I don't think. I mean, he just did the Tom Brady roast and he killed it over there. Everybody loved him. He hit that nail on the head. I think he wrote 5 jokes that bombed at the convention. Like, I don't think he was put there for no political, no policy talk, no nothing. Just, I'm going to hold 15 minutes of entertainment for the crowd. And I just think it sucked. He had a lot of Puerto Rican people and Latino people in the crowd. Even when he said, when y'all come here, we welcome y'all with open arms, and was like, but this is the open arms. Like, don't come. Like, the people started to moan and groan. Like, you got to read the room and realize it's Latino people in here. Those 5 jokes just fell flat.
And I think they fell flat because of the setting. Had he said those things in a comedy club, it might have got some snickers.
Yeah, it might have got some giggles because it's like, that's what we here for. Yeah. But to pop a guy in there for 12 minutes in the middle of a political convention, you kind of looking for some policy, some issues. A little pep rally is what they are. Like, give us a motivational speak, rah, 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 yeah, whatever, Trump, whatever, whatever you're there for. But to stick him in there and for him to do that for 12 minutes, I think is wrong. But I'm just not offended at the watermelon joke, which was geared towards me.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm never offended or think I will be at a watermelon joke. I'm never going to be offended at a chicken joke. Like, that shit is just old to me.
I'm not offended. But I had posted in my story, and it wasn't necessarily, and that's why I made the statement. This isn't political. This is just saying to people, if you want to be outraged about something, why are you outraged about a joke that was made towards a group of people, and a lot of that group of people don't even care? But you don't find, you like pick something that was geared towards you. But people just, I don't want to say jump on the bandwagon, but we need to have selective outrage sometimes. Save that energy. Don't waste that bandwidth on being outraged about something that it really you shouldn't.
Like the heavy part of that thing to me is understanding that the Nazis held a rally there in 1939, and that Adolf Hitler had said in 1939 in Madison Square Garden that Germany is for Germans only. And the guy who was with Trump got up there and said America is for Americans only. So I do think that these people know about this history and speak that type of rhetoric and propaganda. It's a correlation between that. I just don't think everybody intention who comes there is to be racist. Now, this shit where you take a line from Adolf Hitler who said,
America is for Americans
only Germany is for Germans, and then you say only America is for Americans. That's a direct quote that you take and that ties your thinking and your ideology to that kind of shit.
That's what I was looking up because I didn't know who it was. Yeah. Stephen Miller was the person that said it. But what I thought was ironic about it, I mean, because for us, that don't impact us. We're Americans. So it's like you're looking at a man, you're speaking for a man who has a wife who's not American, who has one of his biggest supporters in Elon Musk, who's not American, but yet you get up there and you say this and it's like, hello? Like, we're like, America is for Americans only, except for our friends and when we choose to marry somebody that's foreign. It's like that whole statement, it almost was, I feel like it was said to be mean to about the migrant issue, right? Like that, but you missed, like, read the room. You missed the mark. How many comrades and friends and such does, and then also is it geared towards, I mean, Kamala is American, even though she's Asian American. But her mom, I don't think America.
It's all of that shit about like when Trump said Barack wasn't American. Now they're saying she's not American, and not reading the room and having all those Latino people in the room and saying like we don't welcome y'all, and the whole the island is like, all that stuff is just like, it ties into the rhetoric of that time, 1939, saying that only Americans should be in America, like only Germans should be in Germany. Only, Indian people should be in India, like that kind of shit, where it's the separatism is what it is exactly what it is.
And it's a shame to say that, like, America is who we are because it is a melting pot of so many cultures. Like, America is for Americans. So think about how many current day Americans wouldn't be here had we not think about when all the Irish people were migrating here. Like the Italian people were migrating here. Yep. African people were brought here as slaves, but America, we wouldn't be who we are. No. If America is for Americans only, then it would only be the Native Americans here, because none of us were truly Americans. We like all migrated here.
America's like New York and Vegas. Like, the people who there aren't from there. They just moved there and live there. That's just how it is. 50 Cent turned down $3 million on Sunday to speak at that rally. I mean, to perform Many Men, just one song at that rally, because Trump got shot and that's been his theme song. And he turned down $3 million. I think that's honorable of him, but
I do.
Everybody has a number. What is your number?
If it's something that I don't stand for, I don't have a number.
Really?
I'm not.
So okay, let's change the situation. You're an entertainer. You're 50 Cent. They offer you $3 million to come do one song, and you obviously don't stand with Trump. But 10 million, 20 million. What's a number where you and your family will be like, oh, you had to do that?
The only way I would do it is like, if at the end, like, let's just say if he's voting for Kamala, if at the end of his performance he said Kamala 2024, like something like that, or like, I mean, thinking on a different scale.
What if you just use your social media and went and did the thing, got the bag, and came back on your social media and put your a post up that said, that was some bullshit, whatever. I just did it to get the bag, like. But I'm just saying, what's the number that you might say? Okay, like, I can turn down, if you're an entertainer, I can turn down to 3 million. Maybe I could turn down 5. But if they come in here talking about dropping 12 and 15 million on me to come do one song, like, I might be able to finagle that. So that's what I'm saying. I understand the honor in it and saying, I ain't doing it. But 15, 20 million?
But, I mean, and again, it depends on your level of your star power. 50 Cent, he don't really
I know you don't have to, but
anybody.
Natasha D's.
But again, it would depend on my level of star power. Right now, if I'm an artist,
even
that's
50 has a number. I think 50 million, he probably would have said, "Fuck that, I'm doing it." I think from 20 to 50 million, I think a person to go do one song, 3 minutes, babe. You can justify, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but you can justify, like, I'm taking the bag and I can explain this.
I don't know. Sometimes your morals shouldn't be up for sale. What
right.
you stand
You're
on
right.
shouldn't
You're
be.
right.
And who's to say if I was in that position? Because thinking outside of the entertainment spectrum, like just trying to think what. I don't want to always make everything biblical, but like,
what if you're a prominent speaker for young black girls and you're like getting paid to speak at events and stuff, and they like, this person, Natasha Dees, does a great job, and they offer you $2 million, and you're like, no, I won't do it. And they say, okay,
who is offering?
The Trump people, and they're just saying, just speak for 18 minutes, just to get the young black girl crowd on our vote, and they ask you to speak for 18 minutes,
not.
$2 million, and they come back and say, okay, $8 million.
Absolutely.
And they come back and say, okay, $15 million.
To encourage people to vote.
And then they say, okay, our last offer, Natasha, is $20 million to come past and do 12 minutes of talking, just whatever. You couldn't go up there and bullshit for 12 minutes?
No, I'm not selling my soul for that. Like,
it wouldn't even be about selling your soul.
It is.
Well, yeah, you're right. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. But everybody has a number, and you're sitting here saying you don't have one.
I don't have a number to go against something that I don't believe in. Now, if it's something like, I don't know, I can't even think of an example. Like that's.
I would be sitting here looking at you like,
God will provide. Like, we ain't losing nothing.
No, we're not losing anything, but somebody got $20 million right now for you to talk.
So if you're talking about, as going back to a performer, performing a song that you already have, and then maybe being able to say, I cashed the check, Kamala 2024, whoever you're voting for other than that person, just to let it
Probably
be known.
Wouldn't be able to say that.
Just to let it be known where you stand, then maybe that's something to be considered. But to get up there to encourage people to do something that you don't necessarily believe in just for a check,
I would, and you can. I'm again. Everybody has a number. People say that they don't, but with the money in front of you, that's why these people are moving the way that they're moving. Like entertainers, speakers, all these people. They're and a lot of them get 30,000. Some of them get 3 million. Obviously, if he was offered 3 million for 3 minutes on a song, I would think if 50 was fucked up, that 3 million might be beneficial to me feeding my family. Now, obviously, he's in a position with 34 shows on 10 different networks where he don't need the money. But I'm just saying, if you a person who need the money and that kind of money is dangled in front of you, let's say you're an entertainer, you got $500,000 in the bank. You all right, but they dangling $12 million, $15 million just to go up there and talk. You can tell your words to say not too much. This is what I'm saying. Like, you can go up there and tell your words to say not too much and come back and say something on your Instagram or your Facebook to justify, like, this is not my intent.
Me sitting here right now, I wouldn't feel good with myself. That's like if somebody offered you $50,000 to encourage a group of young black men to go be Philadelphia police officers. You're changing the
goalpost though.
How?
Because you're saying 50,000. There's no way I would do it for 50,000.
Well, you don't even know what. No, but you didn't let me finish. I'm putting it in perspective for us because $3 million to 50 Cent may be the same thing as 50,000 is to us. So $50,000 to go encourage a group of young black men to be police officers.
I'm not doing it.
100,000.
Nope.
$1 million.
Nope.
$2 million.
I would consider it.
Even though that's something that you don't necessarily think is a good idea, you would encourage them to go sign up to be Philadelphia police officers.
And I think on the back end, I would discourage them on my own time. If I have a following, I would discourage them on my own time.
Sometimes the ends don't justify the means. Look what happened to Chrisette Michelle when she sang at Trump's.
She got $30,000 and ain't did shit else since.
And the backlash.
Yeah.
Her albums, her music didn't take off. Now $30,000. I don't know why she let them only pay her $30,000.
Because it's Chrisette Michelle. It's probably. She's a great singer, a good artist, but she probably wasn't doing well. So that $30,000 was probably like, holy shit, just to go fucking sing or talk. Let me grab that bag.
That's crazy that Chrisette Michelle,
who
has had how many #1 songs? That's
but she doesn't command a room. She's not selling out arenas, babe, is all I'm saying.
No,
I understand. With an act.
I understand she's not selling out arenas, but her name was big enough at that time to at least got 6 figures. I didn't know she took that little bit of money, but what I'm saying is the downfall after that, backlash after that, it wasn't worth it. And she even said it was just for the check. Like,
right.
It
so what I'm
wasn't
saying
worth it.
is if she would have got that same backlash that she didn't see coming, because that's hindsight, she didn't see that coming. If she'd have took $15 million, I don't think she'd give a fuck right now. That's what I'm saying. It helps cushion the blow, even if that did happen to her and her music stopped streaming and she stopped getting booked. It'd have been like, okay, at least I didn't take 30 grand and I'm fucked up in a month, or I paid one bill or rent twice. Like, you know, that 30 grand is gone. But if I took 15 or 20 million, yeah, this was a downfall, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I just can't imagine a situation. And again, like you said, hindsight is 20/20. Sitting here right now, it just don't feel good in my soul to.
No,
to
it
say
doesn't
that.
feel good. But I just for the pod, like, just being honest. Like, if they offered me 9 figures to fucking talk at a Trump rally, how could you not consider that? How could you stand so firmly and like they talk?
What are you gonna get up there selling? Like, what are you gonna get up like? Why would you get up there to say things that you don't believe in?
Don't say things that you don't believe. You can tailor your words around what you want to say to talk for 12 minutes. You smart and more intellectual than you think. You can get up there and say some shit and talk around, make your talking point some shit that's mundane and vague.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to be.
I definitely wouldn't say the words, vote for this person. Like, so I'm going to be strategic in what I'm saying, but I'm going to get that fucking 9-figure bag, babe. Not leaving that. Now the 30,000, yeah, you can keep that, but 9 figures, shit.
I mean, don't get me wrong, 30,000 pennies, but I'm
no,
not.
but like you said, that resonates with us, and it's like, nah, I'm not going to sell my soul for that. Like, I've seen that. We've had that's not anything that's life changing. If our life changes because of this, but 9 figures, if our life does happen to change because of this, we're okay. They just dropped $100 million on us to go talk for.
I'm happy 50
I am
still on his morals, and you know he said.
And all you motherfuckers out there got numbers. Don't give me that bullshit. People got numbers.
Yeah, I mean, they say everybody can be sold. I hope I can.
And it's that when you put that kind of connotation around it, yeah, it's going to be some resistance because people will be like, I ain't selling my soul.
Well, that's why I said I hope I can.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, if the number goes up and you have to consider, damn, what am I walking away from? Is all I'm saying. Speaking about money, this ties into another thing that do you feel like you have or do you feel obligated to help your siblings in any way, shape, form, or fashion? And this ties into Tony Rock saying on a podcast that being as though Chris Rock is his brother, he's never been in any of his movies. And he didn't say it with like, hey, fun fact. It was like, you know, I don't know why, but I haven't been in any of my brother's movies. And do you just think like you have to do that? You're obligated to do things, whether it's put a brother in a movie, help a brother, help a sister with $20, with $30, or I'm gonna take care of you, or like do you just feel obligated, keyword obligated, to help siblings?
I don't feel obligated at all.
I know you want to.
I was going to say, I have a desire to do so to the level that I'm comfortable, but I don't feel obligated.
Okay.
Like when you talk about putting him in movies, like I think about it on our level, like a job situation. Like if I thought my sisters, you know, weren't the best fit for a job, I wouldn't feel obligated to
get them jobs.
Yeah, to get them a job. Like, so no, I feel no obligation to anyone except you. But even, yeah, for my siblings, like, no, I don't feel obligated to do anything for them, but I desire to do so, which makes it different because it's like anything that I do, I want to do, but I it wouldn't feel good to me to do it and not want to do it, but doing it because I feel like I have to do it because of obligation.
Do you think that's bad when you do feel an obligation? Like, and again, I might move the goalposts a little bit, but those people that come up as the oldest sibling and feel like, oh, I had to take care of my siblings when I was growing up, so they kind of get that parentified that thing about them. So it's like, even though I'm 40 and you 35, I'm still kind of looking out for you. And is that a good thing? Because you're 35, you should kind of get on your own and do, you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be taking care of you every time you fall.
Yeah, I definitely, wait, so what was your question?
So when you look at it on that end of those people who feel that way, is that bad to feel obligated to take care of your siblings?
I think doing anything for anyone out of obligation, it probably feels bad because you're not doing it from your heart. So
it's not the kindness of your heart.
Yeah, it's not out of the kindness of your heart. It's not because you really want to do it, and it's probably going to cause some turmoil because you're doing something that you don't truly want to do. Like, so
it's like a chore.
And again, it's not from a good place. So it's either gonna, when I say cause turmoil, either conflict in the relationship or internal turmoil because you're going against what your spirit, what your heart desires to do. So yeah, I don't think that would feel good for anybody. There's been times that I may have wanted to help my siblings, and maybe I wanted to, but I didn't feel obligated to do so. And maybe I ended up not helping them. And there's been other times where I know they may have needed help, but I wasn't able to help them in the way that they needed. And I was okay with that, and knowing that it wasn't coming from a negative place. Like, I ain't doing nothing for her. Like, so I guess it depends. If you help, it should come from a good place. And if you don't help, it should come from a good place, not from like a place of if that's the relationship
right.
that y'all have. Because, in some relationships, if you and your sibling don't have a close relationship and they ask you for help, then it might be like, no, what the hell?
Like, this isn't normal. You don't normally ask for help.
Yeah, and in that case, it shouldn't. I think that's when you really feel like, no, I'm not obligated to like do anything.
But then there's them people out there that be like, yeah, I don't fuck with him, but that's my sister or that's my brother. I gotta do it.
Some people do feel like that.
Like, but normally I don't even fuck with them, and it'd be like they know they don't fuck with each other, but just on that simple family shit, just on the simple fact that that's my brother or that's my sister, I feel like I need to do it. I probably won't say shit to you afterwards, but I gotta do it because you're my brother. And
if that's the case, some people may feel like that, like when it comes to family. It's funny, I was watching I don't even know if you know who these people are, but Toya Johnson, who's Lil Wayne's his first ex-wife, his first daughter's mom. Her siblings, she has a bunch of siblings from her mom. Two of her brothers had got killed together in some situation, but her older brother, it was a clip. I think this is a reality show. I don't know, but this was a clip on TikTok where he was saying, I don't feel like I'm not using my family. He like, what do you mean using my family? That's family. Like, they supposed to help. And he was so adamant, and like him asking for it, almost like you can't say that asking or expecting your family to help you is using them, because that is what they are supposed to do. And the entitlement in what he was saying was like, it's crazy.
And I agree with you. I'm on that side of it. But since we were kids, it's been like your brother and your sister, y'all go out together, you watch over each other, y'all. He get in a fight, you get in a fight. It's almost like no matter what, like you told that as a kid, it's drilled into you. No matter what, this is your sister, this is your brother. So no matter what goes on out there, y'all stay together. So you kind of are conditioned to think that whether y'all get along or not, you're conditioned to think I'm always supposed to fend or take care of this person.
I don't think for me, and I try to instill this in our kids, our nieces and nephews. These are your siblings. Y'all love each other. Y'all support each other. Don't be mean to each other. Don't fight with each other. If somebody's messing with one, y'all fight other people. Y'all don't fight each other. But that doesn't extend beyond that. Like, once you're adults, that doesn't mean financially this person is obligated to financially. This person, I feel like there's an obligation to love your siblings. Now, it may not be it may be internally, maybe y'all don't have a great relationship, but I don't think you should have any ill feelings unless they've done something to you that deserves that. And it should be reciprocal. Unfortunately, it's not always. But outside of that, you're not obligated. And that's an obligation, I feel like, from God. Just like we're supposed to love everybody. But you're not obligated to financially take care of anybody. Like, anybody. I had to take care of my sisters because I was forced to. My mom had to work, my dad, whatever. So I had to take care of them from the time I was 12 years old. I didn't so much enjoy it as a kid, but then it was like, if not me, then who else? Like, I'm going to take care of them the best that I can. And then that kind of, spilled over into our adult life, but in a different way. But yeah, that obligation or that entitlement from siblings. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a sibling that you're not close with and they call you and they ask for something and you might say no, which, okay, is fine. Or you may feel like, you know what, this is my sibling. We don't have that close relationship. I may want to help. Maybe I can't help. And I'm just throwing this out there. They ask for $500. You might be like, I can't do that, but I can give them $200 and they figure it out, whatever they got to do, because that's what you feel good in doing. But it shouldn't be if that's what you feel good in doing, it shouldn't be an obligation to do more than what you want to do. That's how I feel. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't do any more than you want to do, because then it doesn't feel good.
Quick scenario. Let's just say you run into some money, a lot of money, where you don't have to work no more for the rest of your life. You're taking care of your sibling because you want to, but you realize your siblings, the money, it changes them. They seem a little bit entitled and think that, whatever I ask for, I'm going to get. You have a conversation with them and so, I feel like something's off. Let's get back to what we do. And they don't change. Can you have money like that and not take care of them when you know that they're ungrateful?
Yes.
So you can have millions of dollars and see, like, my sister might need $100, but she's so fucking ungrateful, I'm not giving it to her.
No, first of all, I'm not going to put you. If we had that kind of, money, blessing, luck, whatever you want to call it, that came into our life, I'm not going to put you in a situation where you got to penny pinch me, ask me for $100 if we got millions and millions of dollars. I'm going to put you in a position to set you up like, you gonna be okay. This may not last you forever, but it's gonna put you in a position, if you manage it correctly, it could. Mm-hmm. But just because I don't have to work anymore, now unless we talking about like 12-digit money, that's different.
But that's what I'm saying. It gets to a point where it's like it goes up. Now they asking for 1,000. Now they asking for 10,000.
Well, no.
And it's like you already had the conversation of, hey, I feel a little bit used. I feel like you taking advantage of the situation, but it doesn't stop.
No,
the ungratefulness doesn't stop.
You have to stop. That's where boundaries come into play. And I am grateful for the therapy that I've had, where I'm very comfortable with implementing boundaries. So that's where boundaries come into play. They're not going to stop until, and guess what? When you say no, that's when it's probably going to get worse, and it's unfortunate. But I mean, again, I would put our sisters in a position where you're not going to have to ask me for $100 and I got millions and millions and millions of dollars. You're going to be set up to win, where we're not going to even have to have money conversations, because here you go.
I should have changed it from $100 to like 5,000 or 10,000, because we would put them in a situation if we had millions of dollars where they wouldn't need 100. So that kind of was. But even then, I'm a hope
that you in a situation where you don't really have to ask me for anything, because again, and I'm not saying if we gonna split our money 3 ways between us, them, and them. No. But no, absolutely not. But you're gonna be good enough to be good. So I'm not really expecting you. Now that doesn't mean your birthday come, I might not, hey, go $5,000, happy birthday, because we got it like that. Christmas come, here goes, whatever. But I'm not expecting you to really ask me for anything after I done broke you off with probably 7 digits. I'm not really expecting for you to ask me for anything. Like,
you would have to have high millions of dollars to break off 7 digits.
Well, I said if we got like 12 digits. Yeah. You talking, because when you get into 12 digits, you talking about hundreds of
hundreds of millions.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm about to say, let's get that shit.
Well, 9 digits is hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
So if we had 9 digits, okay. So you might get you might get 7, which could be anywhere from 1 to 9 million. If we got $500 million, You know what I mean? Like, you can get 7 digits, you can get 7 digits. I'm not expecting you to ask me for anything else when I gave you 7 digits of money.
Yeah.
Like, okay, make it work.
Yeah.
Make it work.
That would be stated at the handing of check.
And again, that doesn't mean that birthday presents, Christmas presents might not be lit. But I'm not expecting.
At the time of wire, that'll be a note in there. Like, no.
And you might get a house and a check. So now we really don't have any reason to have money conversations. We don't have no reason to have money conversations.
Speaking more about money, just moving on. Is stealing circumstantial? So when I say that, I mean, I know your views on breaking the law. You know my views on breaking the law. If we owned a store and 35-year-old man comes in the store, tries to steal a soda, a couple of bags of chips, and some shit off the shelf, and we call the cops and he gets arrested. Does the same thing happen if a mother comes in and tries to steal some Similac or something and we catch her? Does your heart change for that?
Yeah, so I think stealing is wrong, absolutely. But if you know the circumstances, I do think how it's handled is differently. If I see a mom stealing a pack
hold on, I wasn't done. Both people are hungry. But the man just stole chips and bullshit off the shelf and got locked up, or we called the cops on him, or we just assumed you in here just stealing shit. But he was stealing because I'm hungry. But she's stealing because my kid is hungry and I need some Similac. So she putting, the milk in and she's stealing. But we not getting her locked. If you own the store, you're not getting her arrested.
Well, and again, I'm not necessarily saying I'm getting him arrested. I probably would have a conversation like, what you doing? Like, you a grown man, you stealing a chip, and if he be like, man, I'm hungry. Okay, let's have a conversation. Do you want me to make you a sandwich? Like, I'm thinking of like a bodega. I don't know what kind of store we own, but do you want me to make you a sandwich? Or how about this? Take a loaf of bread, take a gallon of milk. Don't come like.
What I'm saying is you're adding shit. The man didn't tell you that he's hungry. I'm just saying the fact that he's stealing some food items would mean he's hungry. The fact that the lady is stealing some Similac tells you visually your baby is hungry.
That doesn't mean he's hungry. That's why I said we would have a conversation. He could just want a snack and got sticky fingers. He could be
so that's
high.
what I'm saying. He never said to you, I'm hungry.
That's why I said I would have a conversation. What's up? If he says that, then it's different. Yeah, so in any case, if somebody is stealing to feed themselves, I wouldn't want them to be arrested. That's not, it's criminal to steal, but now we're talking about a different disparity here. Like, okay, there's a food insecurity issue. I would want to help him in that capacity. It would be like straight talk, like, don't be coming in my store stealing, but okay, me and my husband, let's work together. Like, how can we help you?
So, in essence, it's okay to steal food. Like, if stealing is circumstantial, because if we owned the store and some riffraffs came in there trying to steal, I would be upset about that. Honestly.
Well, see, you saying riffraffs. If you talking about kids just running in there grabbing snacks. I'm trying to
set the scenario.
That doesn't mean they're hungry just because they're stealing snacks. Let me set the
scenario, and we're not going to change it. There's no other variables. The 35-year-old man comes in there and steals some shit off the shelf. I'm going to be upset because I don't know this man coming in my store and stealing. I catch a mom stealing in my store and I see that she got some Similac in her coat. Without having any conversation, I'm going to think like, damn, I know why she's stealing. I don't know why he's stealing. Without talking to either one of them. So there's no talk, there's no conversation. That's the scenario. I think I would be more upset or more prone to call the authorities on the man. And I'm speaking about this psychologically because it's stealing circumstantial. But if I see a mom putting some Similac in her bag and I catch her in my store doing that, I probably would be more inclined to have a conversation. I don't even think I would have a conversation with the guy I catch who's stealing some shit off my shelves and some sodas and some chips. I would just be like, yo, get the fuck out my store, or call the cops.
Yeah.
But a mom, I'm going to be like, damn, like, you stealing Similac. You ain't in here stealing some fucking Kit Kats and shit. You stealing milk. Obviously, you got a baby who hungry. Like, let's talk for a minute.
Yeah. But, so, I mean, in either case, I think I would have a conversation. So I hear what you're saying. I would probably have a conversation to say, what's up? Like, you stealing chips and a soda. Like, you a grown-ass man. What's up? Now, if he says I'm hungry or whatever. So, stealing is wrong. I do think, and if there's a case like growing up, how when we would see people who would steal out the IGA and they would take their picture with what they stole. When I would see people with, I will never ever 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 forget this man. He was bagging up groceries, but he had stole a pack of meat. And when they saw him on camera, so as he's bagging up what he was paying for, the security came over to him and was like, come on. He's like, what you talking about? This man had a roast under his hat, and the blood from the meat was dripping down his face.
Babe, IGA was notorious for that. I was in there, and a man had on an army jacket, and he had ground beef in both pockets.
So when you see something
there was
like
a guy
that,
up there holding a big London broiled steak raw out the pack, like just like this, like he took it out the pack and stole it.
Now you will also see people up there holding a big bag of M&Ms. Right. It's like, come on now. So again, stealing is wrong, but when you see somebody stealing a pack of ground beef, and this is the adult me, as a kid, I just looked at it like, okay, they stealing, but it's like, you think like, damn, like ground beef, you got a big family, you go home, make a big pot of spaghetti, they can probably eat for 3 or 4 days, like he's trying to cook a meal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The lady who was stealing, I remember we knew the lady who was stealing the M&Ms, like she just was probably high and had the munchies and, had a sweet tooth.
Or probably had a klepto, couldn't help herself.
Exactly. No, she was high. We know.
Oh, when you say that you do it to my M&Ms, it's like, what the fuck you go in this place to steal M&Ms for?
And again, I'm not saying that it's right because you shouldn't be stealing, but like
you would have had a better chance of stealing a small pack than a big ass pack of M&Ms.
But the man stealing the roast, now he's paying for groceries, and maybe he thought like, damn, like this, I need a little bit more, and I ain't have enough money, so I'm gonna put this roast under my hat. And it's like they looking like, bruh, like we know it's running down your face, we can see it. And I was a little girl, and I'm like, because we were next in line, and I'm looking like, oh my God, he bleeding. And then I realized it's the meat. Wow. So stealing is wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
But it's also circumstantial.
I do think that there should be some intervention. I think when the cops are called, and maybe it's not the place of the store owner to make that determination, but when the cops are called, that's when, how like they talk about how cops should have other service providers, like a mental health provider, if it's someone who is acting erratic, like they need mental health services. So maybe when the cops identify, okay, they need to know what resources to contact to say, that's like if you see a young girl in the store stealing tampons or pads. It's like, damn.
So again, a lot of times these things happen. The protocol is call the cops, that person gets locked up. So I'm saying you would be a store that you're talking to every thief.
No, and I mean, I would want to, but that's where I said maybe not. Maybe it's not up to me. It's up to the cops. And then, but as the store owner, maybe you do kind of build that rapport so people know, damn, I can talk to Miss D's and, let her know I'm a little hungry. Now, you don't want people to take advantage.
Let's say it's an Old Navy and a person is going there who's a person, this person against this person, man going there, he trying to steal some jeans and a sweatshirt and some hoodies and shit, or a mom going in there and she's stealing baby clothes.
Nah, stealing clothes is different. Because
and you look in her bag and she's got a bunch of infant clothes and it's like, I just had a baby and I don't have no money for clothes.
Nah, stealing clothes is different because it's other ways that you can make do to get clothes. Like,
I just think that's looked at different because this guy is stealing hoodies and jeans and jackets and shit trying to stuff in his clothes. And I look in this lady's bag and she got caught stealing, but she got caught stealing 12 onesies. And her excuse is, I just had a baby. So again, you're in Old Navy, it's not your store. So you can't like make any decisions, but I'm not locking this lady up, or I probably would take the stuff, the stuff because I have to. It's going to cost, but I'm not calling the authorities on a person like that.
What if the man is like, I got a new job and I ain't been working for the last year and I don't have no clothes and I ain't want to show up like looking, bummy. And I just needed some new clothes to wear for my new job because, I gotta get some food for my kids. So, I mean, every case can be circumstantial. But that's why I'm saying, like, in that case, I'm gonna leave it up to the authorities to fix, because everybody can have a story.
Right.
Everybody can have a story, and it ain't up to us to determine who's the boosters that just got a good story or who's the people where there is really a critical need. And that's why I think officers need to also implement the utilization of resource officers along with
to identify
patrol officers to, be able to say, you know what, or even if they take them to the station, we got this lady here, she was down at the store stealing some Similac, she's having a hard time feeding her baby, can we link her with a food kitchen or something like that? Maybe she has to do some community service or something, but she shouldn't go to jail for trying to feed. The same with the gentleman. Okay, you got a job, how about this? We need to see your next 2 pay stubs or something, or else
we're going to charge you.
Something like that. There needs, everything doesn't require, handcuffs and jail time, because people really be having a hard time.
We unpacked it. As stealing is circumstantial. 3 grams. Who's ever out here making these statues of these celebrities, basketball players, NBA football players, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. We fucked up the Kobe statue, but being as though Kobe is who he is, they fixed it. But D-Wade got a statue unveiled a couple days ago, and it's not D-Wade. And he's a nice guy where he ain't gonna say nothing. And then I found out he was involved in the process of making this shit. So when if I saw a rendering or a CAD drawing that's like, this ain't me.
What I think they need to stop doing is trying
the little baby Allen Iverson fucking statue. I know there's probably a company that's making all these statues. It can't just be a whole bunch of different people. So the baby statue, the Dwayne Wade statue. Did you see the Dwayne Wade statue? Did you see the Allen Iverson statue? Did they represent the people that they were supposed to be?
I don't remember Allen Iverson. What I think they need to stop doing is stop trying to capture these action shots. Just a simple pic, when they do the bust for the NFL Hall of Fame. Just a simple, have them stand there with the ball, pose, take a picture, and do, trying to capture.
And every statue would look the same.
But it would look like that person. I don't think that's a bad idea.
But
it would look like that person.
Are action shots that do look like Shaq's statue looks like Shaq. He's dunking on the basketball court. Kobe's his look like his. His arms is out. There's a Michael Jordan looks like Michael Jordan. And that was years ago he got a statue. I'm just saying some action shots look like the person.
I mean, but they got some misses as well. I mean, Allen Iverson's, his being small, I think people made a big deal out of that for no reason, because everybody's where those aren't life-size statues where his was placed. Yeah, so people saw that and just saw his without seeing that everybody's is a smaller version of the actual player. But Dwayne Wade's, that action shot, it wasn't a good, I don't think maybe if they do use action shots, I just don't think that was a good option. His mouth, you're going to look completely different saying, than just sitting there smiling, or maybe doing something else, I don't know. That wasn't a good selection.
It looks like the person is saying, rah, like you said. When that action shot is him saying, this is my house. So I don't know how you get that rah looking face like he's emitting this emotion when everybody knows that's the action shot of him saying, this is my house.
You know how on a live picture you can move it and it changes ever so slightly? Mm-hmm. It's like they chose the wrong frame. It's not a good, they chose the wrong frame. And for him to find
out that he was involved in the process of making it, it's did you not see the face when they was making it? Did you not see a rendering?
They unveiled, maybe they did a rendering, and then they just, because when they unveiled it, maybe they kept the final stage a surprise to surprise him. Mm-hmm. So maybe he didn't see it until everybody else see it, and it was whoa.
Yeah, that shit just doesn't.
He looked like he got fangs.
Yeah, it's almost like it just don't look like him. It looked like it just don't look like him. And I don't even know who it looked like. A lot of people said it looked like a couple different basketball players, old people, but it just don't Some people say they look like Morpheus from the Matrix. Like, it just don't look like him at all. I think that does a disservice to something that is supposed to be everlasting. Like, your children going to see, it's going to be there forever. And it's a disservice to that person. Like, Wade County, like, he means a lot to Miami. And for them to do that, it's like, you want to get that right.
For somebody to walk up to a statue and have to read the name to know who it is, then that'll be bad. Like, I'm just thinking generations from now, people aren't going to be able to see it and easily identify him. They're going to have to read the name and be like, oh, that's him?
Yeah, they're going to be like, yeah. I seen pictures and that don't look like him.
Yeah.
And you can look at the Charles Barkley statue and the Michael Jordan statue, Magic Johnson, and all these other people, and it's like, oh, that's them. Like, and they're doing hook shots and all kinds of shit, but it's like, I don't know why they just been jacking up the statues lately. Graham too, raw dogging. Pull this up, babe.
Yeah, I had heard about this, and I didn't.
Raw dogging used to mean, when we was kids, it mean you had sex without a condom. That's what that meant. It mean you was dipping in the devil's fountain unprotected.
Well, now
raw dogging is.
Now it's a social media trend that involves sitting through a long flight without any distractions or entertainment. Now, this is where it got me, because at first I was like, I could do this. I do this, but I don't. This includes no phones, no movies, music, books, food, water, or sleep. The only exception is looking at a flight map. So it originated from Apple TV. It was a series called Hijack, where Idris Elba sat through a 7-hour flight without speaking, and it became popular on social media with some people sharing their experiences. So initially, when I read it before I finished the description, I was like, oh, definitely. Because when I get on the flight, I am asleep before they finish this is your seatbelt, this is your parachute, this is your blow through the whistle. Like, I'm finished before all of that. I'm asleep before all of that. I do wake up when I hear the little cart coming, because, if we're in first class, I want my meal. If we're not in first class, I want my ginger ale and my cookies. But
what kind of cookies?
Airplane cookies.
What kind?
The Biscoffs.
Or
what other ones?
Lorna Doone.
Oh yeah, the Lorna Doones. Yes, I do. But don't get me wrong. I very well could. Where did we go? One time, did I wake up for anything? I think I went to sleep. So you
couldn't raw dog?
I couldn't, because it includes sleep. So if sleep wasn't part of it, then yeah, and the crazy thing is, I don't think I can help it. Like,
I think the first time we went the first time we ever flew, I don't think you went right to sleep, babe. Because I was excited. You was excited for me.
I was nervous.
And we was on a short flight. It wasn't like
we went to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so it wasn't that long. And I don't think you was like knocked out. Because I don't remember like being by myself.
You kept waking me up to, like, you wanted me to watch a movie with you. You were
showing
me stuff out the window.
Yeah, I did want to see. I wanted to show you when we landed. Yeah.
I usually will go to sleep when we sit down, wake up maybe in the middle for some food. Now, our last time was, I think, the longest I kind of stayed up. But I did go to sleep and then wake up. And then wake me up when we about to land. I don't need to be awake during that time. Like, we get up, we love an early flight leaving and a late flight coming home. So we're up extra early. Like, let me go to sleep so I can be energized when we get off this plane and start
vacation. It's not
vacation.
Why you're going to sleep. It's almost like a tick. Like
a
fucking
I can't help it.
Defense mechanism.
But
it's
I
not
do
like
have
she
motion
consciously
sickness.
saying, oh, I'm tired, let me get a nap in. No, she's like sitting there talking, and then the plane starts to move, and it's like,
yeah.
It's like one of them people who fucking button go off or something like that. Like, I'm just going to sit here, he's talking, I'm like, yeah, yeah, nice. Like, what the fuck? She went to sleep? Like, you look up like, yeah, I'm sleepy. Like, right out. So it's a defense mechanism. It's a tick.
Well, it's also to protect myself from the motion sickness. If I'm asleep, my motion sickness doesn't bother me. If I'm awake, I'm okay. I do better in first class. Like, first class, I don't feel the motion sickness as bad. But I don't want to get I don't want to get sick. So yeah, I go to sleep. So I could, if sleeping wasn't included, I definitely could raw dog. I'm trying to think. think if I had to fly somewhere by myself, see, and that's another thing too. I go to sleep because I feel comfortable and safe with you. If I had to fly somewhere by myself, I might be able to raw dog.
When you went to fucking Idaho, did you raw dog?
I definitely went to sleep. Yeah, I definitely went to sleep. That's what I'm saying. But I think I could. I think I could. Could you?
No, fuck no, I couldn't raw dog.
Not for a 3-hour flight.
When I read the urban definition of it, it said no bathroom. Also,
we don't go to the bathroom on a plane.
But if you have to go, what the fuck? I get the option. Sit at home and piss for 6 hours. The fuck? I ain't doing nothing else. I ain't watching no TV, ain't drinking no water. Like,
you can do it for like a quick Jamaica flight, 3 hours?
Just sit there and stare at the back of the seat. That's where the flight map is. It's
look out the window.
Like, nah, not speaking, not saying nothing, no. Last Grammy. Joe Rogan was supposed to get Kamala Harris on. To get Kamala Harris on the podcast. Excuse me. Because he had Trump on the podcast. So, do one side, do the other side. She had so many demands of you have to travel where I am. So she didn't want to come to the studio where he does his podcast. She only wanted to do 1 hour, which doesn't track with him because Joe Rogan, you got to sit down, long form conversation is how he best believes you get your points across. And because of this, he rejected the interview.
I don't blame him. I mean, you have to stick to your format. I mean, for it to be authentic, I don't blame him. I don't blame him in that case.
And he also says when he travels, like it costs him probably $50,000 to $60,000 to move when he travels because he has himself, equipment, bodyguards, security, like all this shit goes on the plane. Then it's not like they in coach, they're on fucking private jets. And so it's like almost a lot of money just for me to travel to do an interview for an hour where you're not gonna get your shit off. Yeah,
it's not. And it's almost like she wants it sounds like she wanted the normal standard political commentary where that's not Joe's. Like, that's not how his show goes. Like, it can go anywhere. Now, of course, she would really back in. I'm sure she wanted to not go off like some of his other episodes. But, for what it's worth, I don't blame him. Right. I don't blame him. I don't blame him because it just doesn't align with what his brand is. And that's what you have to be true to no matter what you do. You have to be true to your brand in order for your because after this political season, you still going to have your fans and your audience. So you can't go off track just to appease somebody else. When really you were trying to do them a favor to begin with, to even give them the platform. But I don't blame him.
understand how nobody in her camp or she just doesn't see that, being as though his audience is that big. Like, they talked about him swaying in the election the last time. That's how big his audience was. The whole vaccine shit, that's how big his audience is when he was against that. But just to try to dictate an interview and only be an hour where it's like, no, like, come to the studio where the scenery is known and relax. Even in the Trump interview, it was a 3-hour interview. They talked about politics for probably an hour. The other 2 hours, they talked about wives, they talked about kids, they talked about the UFC, like, just to kind of let the guard down and show the people who you really are. Yeah. And I don't understand, like, nobody in her camp saying this is something you should do. Like, go sit for 3 hours. Like, he don't give you no salacious questions and shit like that. Right. And he's probably going to ask you some shit that you can laugh about and show a side of yourself that the people ain't seen. Yeah, I think that was a mistake.
They missed the mark on that, especially after she went to that other podcast that shouldn't have been like her target audience.
Call her daddy.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 199, coming to a close. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcast Player, FM. Type us in, faces pop up, talk a little shit. Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, share, comment. All the good stuff. If y'all fuck with us, y'all fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.